Hey, NorCal Karters, we are live at Sonoma here for the RokFest West event. And we are about to hit the track with the mini and the micro rock class brought to you by SSI Racing. This is their qualifying session. So once again, this is Sonoma, race number 6, and RokFest West. Tomorrow on YouTube, we will be live streaming the main events. So check out the live stream on the Sonoma YouTube channel. And right now, as I bring up the grid, again, this is our qualifying session. You can find live timing on Race Monitor. This class is brought to you by SSI Racing Team. Next up, we will have 125 Shifter Pro and Masters, 125 Shifter Pro and Masters. Those classes are brought to you by AltWell. They will take the track at 320. So right now, back to the track. Currently, your pole sitter is Mateo Calderon in the mini rock class. Mateo Calderon with the 58.373. And again, you can find the race results on Race Monitor. And it looks like our quick micro rock driver is Landon Cadora Dolph. We are 2 laps into our qualifying session here at Sonoma. This is the RokFest West event. And Matt Gadara takes the number 1 spot in the mini rock class. Matt Gadara. So Matt Gadara, cart number 150, with a best time of 57.796 is your current pole sitter in mini rock. And in micro rock, Landon Cadora Dolph still maintains that number 1 spot in micro rock with the 58.854. So this weekend we have 10 drivers on the track for the mini and micro rock class. And this class is brought to you by SSI Racing. So a rundown of our top three for Mini Rock. We have Matt Guidera sitting on pole. Mateo Calderon in second. Gabby Guidera in third. And for Micro Rock, Landon Cador-Adolph is first. Jimmy Fogarty is second. And it looks like Kylie Johnson is running in third. So checkered flag. Let's see where the drivers sit after 5 laps of qualifying. This is your Micro and Mini Rock class brought to you by SSI Racing. On grid A for qualifying, we should have our 125 Pro and Master Shifters. 125 Pro and Master Shifters on grid A, brought to you by AltWell. Grid B, Junior 100cc. Grid B, Junior 100cc, you'll be green at 3:30. So after the checkered flag, it looks like your pole sitter, unofficial results. Looks like we're going to have Matt Guidera on pole. It looks like Mateo Calderon off pole by only 0.02 of a second. And third, Gabby Guidera. And then in our Micro Rock class, Landon Cador-Adolph is going to be our pole sitter in Micro Rock, followed by Jimmy Fogarty. Next up is going to be the 125 Shifter Pro class, 125 Shifter Pro, and our 125 Shifter Masters, brought to you by AltWell. So currently we are doing an audio stream to NorCalCarters.com for qualifying, and tomorrow we will have the main events will be live streamed on YouTube on the Rock Sonoma channel. We're just waiting to clear the track a little bit for our next group. 125 Shifter Pro and Masters. All right, our 125 Shifter Pro and Master drivers are on track, brought to you by AltWell. This will be a 5-lap time session. So this weekend, it looks like we're going to have 6 Master Rok drivers. And it looks like we're going to have about 18 Pro Rok shifters this weekend. So some of the drivers we have here this weekend in the Pro Rok shifter class: Kyle Wick, Jacob Gulick, Hunter Pickett, Ryan Martin, and after our first lap, it looks like Brian Keck is going to put it on pole. And then he just got bumped by Ryan Martin. And now Kyle Wick goes to P1 in the Pro Rok shifter class. So we have Kyle Wick, Jacob Gulick, Brian Keck, Ryan Martin, and Hunter Pickett. That is your current top 5 here in Pro Rok shifter. And it looks like the number 1 spot in Master Rok shifter is going back and forth between Jonathan Vitolo and Kevin Woods. And then followed by Patrick O'Neill. So at 2 laps to go, we have Kyle Wick, Ryan Martin, Jacob Gulick, Brian Keck, and Hunter Pickett. That is your top 5 in the Pro Rok shifter class. And it looks like Kevin Woods is going to go P1 in the Master class, followed by Jonathan Vitolo and Patrick O'Neill. Hunter Pickett goes into the P2 spot. Hunter Pickett. So now we have Kyle Wick P1, Hunter Pickett P2, Ryan Martin P3, Jacob Gulick P4, and Brian Keck P5. And there's going to be 1 lap to go here in a moment. 1 lap to go. And once again, these results you can find on Race Monitor. And they are unofficial until tech is cleared. So the checkered is about to wave for our Pro Rok shifter and our 125 Master shifter class. So it looks like our Masters driver, it looks like the pole is going to go to Kevin Woods, followed by Jonathan Vitolo and Patrick O'Neill. And in Pro Rok shifter, we still have a couple of our fast drivers out there. But currently, pole is being held by Kyle Wick, followed by Hunter Pickett, then Brian Keck. So it looks like our top 3 pro drivers are in the pits. So that is going to put Kyle Wick on pole, Hunter Pickett off pole, Brian Keck in 3rd, Ryan Martin in 4th, and Jacob Gulick in 5th. And that is your Pro Rock Shifter brought to you by AltWell, followed by 125 Master Shifter, also brought to you by AltWell. Next up, we are going to have the Junior 100cc class. Junior 100cc, you should be on Grid A. Grid B, Masters 100cc. Grid B, Masters 100cc. So on track, we have our Junior 100cc class. Junior 100cc is on track. And it looks like we're going to have 14 drivers this weekend in the Junior 100cc class. Here at Rock Sonoma, this has always been one of the more exciting classes to watch. So it should play well tomorrow on YouTube under the Rock Sonoma channel.
It's not on? Me too.
Okay, guys, see you in the morning.
All right, so our junior 100cc class is on track. They will do 5 laps for qualifying, and right now it looks like Casey Moyer is sitting on pole. Casey Moyer with the 54.447, followed by Yana Kapoor and Max Altman. So these young drivers will do 5 laps for their qualifying session. And now Anthony White goes to pole. Anthony White followed by Steven Eisert and Alex Rentala.
That's Cameron just went purple. 53.9. Don't let everybody know that. There you go. I'm guessing.
So it looks like Christian Cameron is sitting on pole, followed by Anthony White and Steven Eisert.
Well, and he's there, and he's picking up.
So it looks like Anthony White just went purple. Anthony White went purple. Christian Cameron in second. Max Altman in third. Steven Eisert in fourth. Alex Rentala in fifth. These drivers are going to have 1 lap to go. So it looks like Christian Cameron went back to P1. So Christian Cameron went P1 and Anthony White P2. Max Altman P3. So after the checkered flag, it looks like your pole sitter unofficially is going to be Anthony White, followed by Max Altman, then Christian Cameron, Steven Eisert, and Alex Rantala. So next up, we are going to have our Masters 100cc. Masters 100cc.
You know what's so
So on track is our Masters 100cc class. Masters 100cc. And once again, this is Rock Sonoma race number 6 and RokFest West. So these drivers also will do 5-time laps for qualifying. Tomorrow we will run two pre-mains and a main event. So the Masters 100cc class has been interesting over the past year. Last year they had about 3 drivers. A group of drivers got together, started networking, texting, planning test days. And it looks like this weekend we'll have 10 100cc master drivers on the track. So currently, it looks like your current pole sitter is Michael Ting, followed by David Kao, Scott Fermanic, Josh Budafuco, and Andre Nackert. That is your top 5 in 100cc Masters. So it looks like Josh Budafoco is going to P1, followed by Michael Ting. Running in third currently in 100cc Masters, Scott Fermanic, followed by Daniel Rivera and David Kao. So this is the 100cc Masters class. So the current pole time in 100cc Masters, here at Rock Sonoma is a 55.391. Next up is going to be our senior 100cc class. Next up, senior 100cc. You should be on grid A. Grid A for senior 100cc. And back to the track. There's one lap to go. And still sitting in that number one spot is Josh Buttafuoco, followed by Michael Ting and Scott Furmanek. And the checkered flies for 100cc Masters. And it looks like Josh Buttafuoco is going to be your number one pole sitter for 100cc. Scott Furmanek moved up a spot to second. Third is Michael Ting. Fourth, Daniel Rivera. And rounding out your top five, David Kao. Next up, we will have our senior 100cc class. And senior 100cc is brought to you by OPI Builders. OPI Builders brings the 100cc senior class. And once again, tomorrow we will be live on YouTube for the main events. Currently, the main events are scheduled to start at 2:15, so we will be live on YouTube on the Rock Sonoma channel. Coming next is our 100cc senior class. 100cc senior is on grid A, brought to you by OPI Builders. They are scheduled to go out at 3:50. So on track we have our 100cc senior class. And this class is brought to you by OPI Builders. And after our first complete lap, it looks like Michael Mitchoff is your pole sitter, followed by Gino Sandoval, JC Perez, Aaron Verhadi, and Ryan Persing. So again, these drivers do run 5-time laps, and this is our 100cc senior class, brought to you by OPI Builders. So cart number 920, Michael Mitchoff is your current pole sitter. Again, all results are unofficial until they clear tech. Looks like Christopher Martin. No, back to Michael Mitchoff. Yoshim Kapoor goes into second spot. Ryan Persing is in third. Christopher Martin moves up a few spots into fourth. And Gino Sandoval is sitting in fifth. So all the results are live on Race Monitor. We are also doing a live audio-only stream to NorCalKarters.com for qualifying. And tomorrow, the main events tomorrow will be live streamed on YouTube on the Rock Sonoma channel. So it looks like all of our leaders are all bundled up on the track. They're going to come around here in a moment. Eddie Shimon goes to the top spot. Eddie Shimon, followed by Michael Mitchoff, Yoshim Kapoor, Ryan Persing, and Christopher Martin. That is your top 5. And it looks like Roman Madrigal is climbing up the charts a little bit in 6. So Eddie Shimon is your new pole sitter. These drivers have 2 laps to go in official timing, 2 laps to go. And it looks like our 100cc senior class has 19 participants this weekend. So here comes the field around the stripe line. So it looks like Eddie Shimon is maintaining that number 1 spot, followed by Michael Mitchoff, Gino Sandoval, Yoshim Kapoor, and Ryan Persing round out your top 5. Current pole time, 53.613. Second, 53.747. So there's about a 1/10 difference between first and second. This is one of our other exciting classes here at Rock Sonoma to watch on YouTube. These drivers have given us some good races over the past year and a half. So with a checkered flying, we'll let the carts clear the line, but it looks like it's going to be Eddie Shimon on pole, followed by Michael Mitchoff, Gino Sandoval, Christopher Martin, and JC Perez slots into that number 5 spot. So our 100cc senior class just cleared the track. Your unofficial pole sitter, Eddie Shimon, followed by Michael Mitchoff and Gino Sandoval. Next up is going to be the Junior Senior Rock. Junior Senior Rock, there's a 125cc class. So on grid A, we should have Junior and Senior Rock on grid A. Grid B, we should have Master Rock. And to wrap up our qualifying for the day, 125 shifter limited, start thinking about it. The track is now green for our Junior and Senior Rock class. Master Rock, make your way up to the grid. Master Rock, make your way up to the grid. It looks like we're going to have 11 drivers in the combined senior-junior class. So currently on track, we have our Senior Rock Senior Rock and Junior Rock on track. And it looks like your current fast time is Gino Sandoval. Gino Sandoval with the 51.867, followed by Daniel Fellows with a 52.030. Torsten Olsen with the 52.769. So our drivers are coming back around. So it looks like Gino Sandoval is still the current fast time, followed by Daniel Fellows, Colin McGrath, and Torsten Olsen. And then we have Christian Cameron running in the Junior Rock class with the fast time for Junior Rock. So if you're listening live here on NorCal Karters to the broadcast, we are at Rock Sonoma for RokFest West. This is our live qualifying session. If you're just catching this podcast and you're interested in karting, go to NorCalKarters.com, click on the Get Starting tab, fill out the form, and get started in race karting now. So back on track, it looks like we have Gino Sandoval as fast time, followed by Daniel Fellows and Colin McGrath. So the drivers are going to have one more lap to improve on their lap time. And the checkered is waving for our Junior Rock, Senior Rock class. And we will see if any drivers improved on their time. So it looks like we're going to have Gino Sandoval sitting on pole, followed by Daniel Fellows, Colin McGrath, and Torsten Olson for the Senior Rock class. And Christian Cameron will be on pole for the Junior Rock class.
Henry Barton, please.
'Master Rock, you should be on grid A. 'Master Rock, you should be on grid A. $125 shifter limited. 125 shifter limited. Start working your way up to grid B. You will wrap up our qualifying for the day. All right, Master Rock is on the track. 125 shifter limited. 125 shifter limited. Make your way to grid A. So on track, we have our Master Rock class. On track, Master Rock. And after one official lap, it looks like we have Carlos Calderon with the fast lap, followed by Hunter Hagenbuck, Dan Jones, Curtis Morty, and David Palak. Round out your top five. Now, Billy Cleveland goes to the number 2 spot. Billy Cleveland So we have Carlos Calderon with a fast lap, followed by Billy Cleveland. Now, Billy Cleveland just got bumped by Dan Jones. Fourth, we have Hunter Hagenbuck. Fifth, we have Curtis Morty. And sixth, we have David Palick. Billy Cleveland takes the fast time right now. Billy Cleveland takes the fast time with a 52.154. So these drivers will have 3 laps to go. So Carlos Calderon is now in second. Dan Jones is in third. So Billy Cleveland has gone across the stripe for the third time. He still has fast lap. Here comes Carlos Calderon down the straightaway. Let's see if he can improve his time. Billy Cleveland, fast time, 52.154. Second fast time by Carlos Calderon, 52.211. The drivers will have one more lap to improve on their fast lap. And the checkered flies. So it looks like Billy Cleveland is going to have the fast lap. Again, these are unofficial times. Billy Cleveland looks like he has fast lap with a 52.154, followed by Carlos Calderon. And Dan Jones. Next up, we have our 125 Shifter Limited. 125 Shifter Limited, brought to you by AltWell. All right, we are green track for 125 shifter limited. Green track for 125 shifter limited. And this will be our last qualifying session of the day. So it looks like we're going to have 9 drivers in the 125 limited class. For those that are not familiar with the limited designation, it has an exhaust restrictor. Same engine package as the Pro and Master Rock shifters, but the limited utilizes an exhaust restrictor. This class has been gaining popularity over the past 2 years here at Rock Sonoma. So we will have 5 more laps to go before we wrap up our Saturday session here at Rock Sonoma for the RokFest West event. So back to the track action here. Once again, this is our 125 shifter limited. And it looks like to the number 1 spot on the first lap, Steve Pagot. Steve Pagot with a 52.427. So after the first lap, we have Steve Pagot, Pat Beckley, Travis Bowles, Steve Cameron, and Trevor Getter as your top 5. And our 125 limited shifter class is brought to you by AltWell. Now Pat Beckley goes to the number 1 spot. Pat Beckley. So we have Pat Beckley, Steve Pagot, Travis Bowles, Steve Cameron, Trevor Getter. That is your top 5. We'll keep an eye on Steve Cameron as he's following Pat Beckley. See if he can grab a little bit of a draft from him. Pat Beckley, Steve Pagot, Travis Bowles, Steve Cameron, Trevor Getter. That is your top 5 in the 125 limited shifter class, brought to you by AltWell. 1 lap to go for the 125 limited class. And your current fast time is Pat Beckley. So it doesn't look like anyone improved their time. So it looks like unofficially your pole sitter is going to be Pat Beckley, followed by Steve Pagot, Travis Bowles, Trevor Getter, and rounding out your top 5 will be Steve Cameron. And that wraps up our qualifying for today here at Rock Sonoma. Thank you for joining us on NorCal Karters on the live stream here for qualifying. Again, we are at Rock Sonoma for RokFest West. And tomorrow, around 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, we will go live on YouTube on the Rock Sonoma channel. So tune in tomorrow for live racing action on the Rock Sonoma channel on YouTube.